Real Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
In the hood, you get me?
Did you create Late Night Hype, or did you hear that in the hood and put it on record?
What the song?
Just the terminology.
Late Night Hype?
Because everybody said that everywhere.
I don't know where I came up with Late Night Hype. I mean, because we used to be on the streets at late night.
Right.
We used to dip around at late night. And whether it was fiends or you going to get some pussy at 2 o'clock in the morning, or that was a late night hype, you know, because you hear in the song 2 a.m. on the freeway. We was just niggas who...
All that, them was all real stories. You ain't got to tell me, nigga.
Yeah,
all them stories
because that's
real.
what we used to do. We'd hang out till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the block, or, you know, we go out somewhere as a hood, bowling alleys and drive-in movies, and then at 2 a.m., you on the 91 freeway.
Right.
And nigga, it's looking spooky because... in our days, nigga, you don't be riding around at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because 9 times out of 10 you finna get jacked by the police.
Yeah.
Especially rolling through Compton at 2 a.m. in the morning.
You getting jacked.
So those were just analogies I came up with, just being a nigga in the hood and just visualizing, you know. So when I started making music, I wanted to put it in the forms where niggas would think it was clever on some hood shit. You get me? So Late Night Hype, you can get the duck sick. You get me? Spin it around for the motherfucking label people who would probably be a little offended as you saying you can get my dick sucked.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
So you can get my duck sick and then get bitches to sing it.
Right.
Now it's a little clever thing.
Very
you
clever.
Get me?
Very
so
clever.
We just wanted to show motherfuckers that even though we were hood niggas and represented a certain side, that we wasn't no dummies. We were very creative.
That's tight. And you know what's crazy? Hey, I gotta say this, man, because that first record was so fucking classic that I was a reader, right? So like, you know, the way these kids is online and shit, I would read anything hip hop. If I seen y'all and it was a small article, I'm gonna read it because I wanted to know what was going on. I knew that Chill was in trouble.
Right.
I knew this as a little kid, right? And I want to say this for the record, for the people. Eiht is the first person that was talking about niggas on the run. This is before Nori. No disrespect to Nori. I don't know.
OTR, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
But niggas on the run. And he said it in hella songs, bruh. He said it in hella songs. And even after niggas on the run. You know what I'm saying? And after that, it was still, whenever it was an Eiht album, it was still featuring CMW.
Yeah.
I always thought that was raw as fuck, bro. Like, you
clever,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
Keeping that name going.
Keeping the
Clever.
name lit. Now, Banks, same time. We rolling down the same timeline. Was your next expedition into this shit meeting Bruce and Pooh?
Yep. It was meeting Bruce.
Who did you meet first?
I met Pooh, actually.
Okay.
Pooh, I want to think Pooh was with Christine, man.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who
I know Christine, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Pooh was with Christine one day, and they was riding. They came down my block on 100.
Okay.
And Pooh seen me and hopped out. He said, Banks. I'm like, I don't even know who the nigga is, right? This 1988. I don't know who he is. He hopped out. He said, what is? He said, nigga, it's Poohman, nigga. And I'm like, okay, I know who Poohman is. A little crazy ass nigga from the block. I'm like, okay, what's happening, nigga? He said, man, I need you to produce my thing. I was like, oh, well, nigga, let's have it. What's happening? Let's do it. And that's really how fucking Wit Dank got the whole shit got started.
You know what he just said, what he said about Duck Sick and then getting the girls to come in and sing it? You know, fucking Wit Dank just popped in my head immediately, right? So I'm like, I just want to transition right into that question, right? Fucking Wit Dank is a slapper, right? Everybody love this. This is the shit. But what as a producer, like, you like leveled up, right?
I did.
So how do you got these? You got women in this. Who was that singing that?
That's the actual sample, and me and him.
Oh, that's a sample.
That's the
and y'all
sample,
went over
and
it.
me and him, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't.
Do you know what sample it is?
Shabba-doo-wah, whatever the fuck. M2 man. I don't know the name. I think that's the name of it, ain't it? It's M2 May though. It's on the
too,
Juicy
man.
Fruit album, man.
It's
All
on the
them, that
Juicy Fruit.
motherfucking Juicy Fruit album
Got a
was
lot
loaded.
of shit in it, huh?
That motherfucking album is loaded, top to bottom.
And so now, are you leveling up as a producer? Because rest in peace to Big Bruce.
Absolutely.
Big Bruce had a lot of money. He was behind Poohman. Are you leveling up as a producer because your environment is better? Is it more comfortable? Are you having more cheese? Like, what's going on?
It was the environment that was created. So that whole album, Life of a Criminal, period, not just fucking with Dank, but that Life of a Criminal album and the vibe in the studio. I don't know if anybody you've ever been to Blind Joe's studio before? Okay, so you know the whole setting. Nigga, it's almost like you in a jail cell.
Right.
And Bruce would bring about 40 niggas in there, like hood niggas, you know what I mean? 72nd. The whole 72nd was in there, like, you know what I mean? Deep.
Right.
And it's about, let me keep it real, it's about 20 niggas and about 10 bitches. Weed smoke everywhere. It's like, nigga, you can't see from here to 2 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
It's that much weed smoke in the room. The environment was so crazy, bruh, where we couldn't do nothing but make hits in there. Like, it was bananas. You standing room only, like, nigga, you gotta wiggle around just to move over or something. There's so many people in that one little ass room, man.
Is this when the rapper and Banks was created?
Absolutely.
Because you wasn't like you.
And I'm gonna keep. See, that's a whole nother story. Because
Exactly.
the rapper and Banks really wasn't even created then. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother monster.
Okay.
But the whole shit of how the whole environment, man, of
because the way you was coming in on them records, you was Pooh's.
But that was the first. Let me get to that.
Okay.
So the environment that we had was conducive to making the shit that the way it sounded, Life of a Criminal. It couldn't be nothing else but that. The whole fucking with Dank scene, the hit, every song we did on that motherfucking album was based on the vibe that was created in the room. This is the funny shit. I went to the studio every day with no beats, nothing in my mind to do nothing. Pooh goes with no raps, nothing written, no nothing. I swear, man, we just showed up to the studio.
This is unheard of at this time.
We showed up to the studio every day and made and one of them records came out of there every day with nothing, no ideas to do nothing. It was the environment, brother. I'm telling you, it's the vibe that was created in that studio every day. Said, this is what we finna do today.
Wow.
I promise you.
Because a lot of records was done and then redone.
Right.
Was that for In a Minute, or was that for another deal?
That was done. So basically, the whole Life of a Criminal came out. Poohman, we sold like 150, 200,000. Actually,
ridiculous.
So 200,000 units independently, and that's ghetto gold is what we call it. You know what I mean? You can do the math. 200,000 units, $10 a unit. Do the math.
Yeah.
Independently. So, when Bruce passed away, Short came in, and Short was like, man, y'all niggas is doing this, that, and the other. Man, I got the situation going on. I'm signing Dangerous Music, the production deal with Jive. Woo. Pooh, we want to sign you. Bam. Pooh goes and gets signed, and in the midst of Poohman really getting signed, Jive is like, who is this motherfucker on this song, which was fucking with Dank. And Short was like, man, these motherfuckers love your voice. They love your whole production thing. Bro, we got to sign you. So that was the whole beginning of my rap shit. It didn't have nothing to do with me trying to be a rapper. I'm just rapped on this goddamn song because really, that's where it took us that day.
Right.
It's like, Banks, you should just bust a rap right here. And niggas like, what? It's like, fuck it, let me do it. Sat there and wrote it. And I ain't no rapper. This is my first rap I ever wrote, man. Fucking with Dank was the first rap I ever wrote.
That's fucking
And that
crazy.
motherfucker took me 45 minutes.
That's
Just
fucking crazy.
sitting there and not smoking no weed either, nigga. That was all contact.
Right.
I'm a drinker, nigga. I was sitting in there loaded. Like, I had a big old bottle of Bombay Sapphire and some motherfucking cranberry juice, nigga. And I'm in there perving already off that and all weed smoke. Just thinking that's what came out of me.
That's crazy.
First rap.
That's fucking crazy. So as Short, coming in, is his approach like, not only am I trying to get y'all down with it, but this is the Dangerous Crew.
Absolutely.
I want y'all with this crew.
Absolutely.
So
we're talking about 1990, man.
So
1990.
Pooh explained this before, right? The Dangerous Crew at that moment, as you know, it was who?
Too Short.
Too Short.
Oh, let me keep it real. The Dangerous Crew back then was Too Short, Chris Hicks, Ali Superside, Ted Bohannon, Short, and a few more. It's a few more homies, man. It's Noodles and
One rapper though.
niggas. Absolutely, one rapper.
And
Too
was
Short.
Pee Wee and all them in it?
No.
Nah, they was just
no.
work for hire, basically.
Yeah, they was work for. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's always interesting because nobody don't really know the dynamics of the Dangerous Crew. So
was
adding
really some niggas from the hood, really the dirt road niggas, man. That was
really
the
dirt road niggas.
It was Dangerous Crew, man.
So adding Bad Influence later was the attempt to make it an actual label. Adding Poohman.
No. So I mean, as the pieces came together, it became me, Too Short, and Poohman, and then we added Goldie, and then we added. I want to say Father Dom was next.
Father Dom.
And then after Father Dom was Bad Influence.
Okay.
Pee Wee and Shorty B was just a part of the production team. They was on my production team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm glad you said it because nobody could ever really answer who's in. You know, it's a bunch of niggas that was in the Dangerous Crew that wasn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so getting a deal with Jive was your deal like a production and recording?
It was an artist recording deal.
Oh, okay.
So I mean you know, my nigga Too Short just got his street. You know, love my nigga, man. It's long overdue, but that shit was really for him being an artist representing Oakland the way he did for so long. Better than anything, and better than anybody ever represented their city. You see what I'm saying? So Oakland, I feel like been owed that to him for the longest.
Right.
What my nigga don't get credit for is everything else. What you don't know about Too Short is he's actually a better producer than he is a rapper, and he's one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. But as far as producer, you gotta remember all that shit Short did before was produced by Too Short
and continue to be sampled now over and over and over and over.
When you look at Born to Mac, when you look at Life Is Too Short, when you look at Short Dogs in the House,
he was still producing up into that point?
That motherfucker produced 90% of that shit on that album.
Oh man, come on. I thought he was done by that time.
That nigga is, man, I learned so much from him as a producer. When I signed to him in 1990, I'm thinking I'm already polished. You know, I done got MCN, I done got Poohman, I got Spice One, I got Dangerous Dame. I done blew all these motherfuckers up, right? As a producer. But I'm like, when I get with Short, nigga, I learned, you know, nigga, we got to bump the bass up to, you know, turn this up 2 more dBs. Turn these motherfucking goofy ass sounds out while I'm rapping, nigga. Don't be having all this busyness going on while the rapper's rapping it. Don't be doing this. You know, he gave me so much game as far as how to really structure my songs better as a producer, and it's like, man, that's what helped me go to the next level, honestly. So by the time I got to the Snoop Dogs and the, you know what I mean, Mac 10s and Ice Cubes and everybody else I got to, I was overly polished from him.
Yeah.
You feel me? A lot of that shit, man, people don't know. Too Short, and think about the people that he actually put in the game, man. Like me and Lil Jon and a whole bunch of, it's a whole roster full of motherfuckers he done threw in the game that he still don't get the credit for.
Nah, he don't.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, my nigga Too Short is gotta go down as nigga top 5 on anybody's list as the greatest motherfucker in this motherfucking hip hop shit.
That's
ever,
real.
Ever.
That's real. And ain't nobody
I be tired of them history books when they don't have that nigga name in there as one of the greatest rappers of all time. You know, I see everybody else's name, but damn near, but my niggas, man, and my nigga, we know. You know, the hood niggas know.
What was that like in the 80s and 90s for both of y'all being West Coast artists? You know, that uphill thing, that bias, that fighting through that, because y'all giants, right? But I'm saying, I'm gonna keep it real. When you had those writers from The Source, when you had those writers from, you know, these different publications, the West Coast wasn't.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They
No,
wasn't
under
speaking on
no
us like
circumstance,
that.
and we had everything
Absolutely.
from niggas like Farside and High Road to
Yep.
gangsters. You know what I'm saying? We had everything.
Yes.
So what was that like? Because I always wondered, like, being a legend, especially, and doing legendary shit, like being looked at as just another West Coast artist.
Man, really, when you look at it, a lot of the production back then was a lot of old James Brown samples or something. You know, they was doing a whole lot of sampling during that era. But when you got that NWA came through, and you got that Spice One came through, and you got that Too Short came through, all the production went to a whole nother level. And then you start seeing, you know, a lot of the New York rappers jumping on the West Coast style production with the live instrumentation and the more 808 driven songs and shit like that. You know, think about when by the time Busta Rhymes came out, Busta Rhymes damn near sound like he had a West Coast producer the whole motherfucking time.
And Jay-Z definitely did.
Jay-Z, all of them, man. So everything kind of switched when that West Coast production kicked in, and they really realized and listened to a lot of shit we was doing, man. I seen the shift in the East Coast, man. It just went from the whole dirty, sloppy sounding hip hop to more polished type sounding shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Eiht, I gotta ask you this, moving right along. One of the reasons that we here tonight, it's been 30 years. We celebrating a phenomenal and a very important piece of art in our culture, Menace to Society, right? Which you are the legendary character Eiht, right? And when this movie came out, I guarantee that the way you act on the movie, you wasn't your age. You was like an OG in the movie, but you really wasn't an OG yet. You know what I'm saying? But your street, what you brought to the screen from you actually living that life versus the other characters in the movie, it really felt like you was their OG, right? Because we probably wasn't paying much attention. Shout out to all of them great actors in that movie, right? But your shit came off as organic, right? You was everybody's big homie in the hood on that particular film. What how did that film change your life, man?
I never considered myself an actor and shit. Shit I was doing in the neighborhood every day because I was still in the hood at that time. So I got a chance to ad-lib a lot of shit and just be myself in the movie. As far as my career, it took us to another status. The movie was accepted, everywhere, worldwide. People could, feel what the story we was trying to portray in Menace. Everybody's had struggles of trying to make that pull of, should I be the righteous kid and go straight and whatever, or should I be with the homies and shit like that? So it changed it to the fact where people started, for some of the people who didn't know about Compton's Most Wanted and MC Eiht, they got a chance to see Eiht in a different light. They got a chance to really get into what MC Eiht and Compton's Most Wanted was about, as long as we had been in the hip-hop field. Chance to take me to places that I probably would have never went. So Menace did a lot as far as my career, but I never tried to chase movies after that, like I was an actor or some shit like that. Like I said, it dealt with something that I was used to and had seen a long part of my life as far as growing up in the hood. So I think it just gave a light for people who didn't know what struggles a lot of young black men had to go through growing up in the hood with no parents and influences of the gang and the hood and the homies. Because let's face it, we all go through that transition where homies on the block, we won't be on the block too. You get me? Especially when you have the mind state and attitude like, nothing scares me or whatever. I'm a whatever. So, but it changed a lot. It gave me a chance to see shit outside of Compton. You know, outside of going to New York and Vegas and shit like that, I was able to travel overseas and go to different countries and see how hip hop culture was really hitting home and how people was enjoying us as a whole. And you might have not got the respect at home in Compton or in Oakland or wherever. Like you say, people like, oh, just another West Coast rapper.
Right.
But you got to see the appreciation around the world from people in different countries as far as me being an artist was concerned. So Menace did a lot for my career.
Did they cast you, or did they just?
No, they cast me.
Hughes Brothers.
Hughes Brothers.
Hughes Brothers came and got everybody, bro.
Hughes Brothers was going to school, college in LA. I mean, Southern California, Pomona. They was living, whatever, going to school, film school. So them being in LA at the time and, you know, being on the West Coast, as far as the birth of our music, you know, was getting popular. They was able to witness all these dudes, you know, turn on the box, and you can see some Too Short, Nat Banks, and MC Eiht, and Compton's Most Wanted. And so when they got to doing this movie, they basically went down the list. And for the fact that movies was generating for hip hop rappers at the time. Cube did Boys in the Hood. You know, they did South Central. You know, Ice-T was in the Breaking movies, and so we started getting a little tag. You know, Pac did Juice and shit like that. So from there, these directors start going, let's throw us a rapper in here.
Right.
You know? Because hip hop is getting real popular. They're making money, you know. Kids across the world are tuned in. So they start throwing rappers. So yeah, I got a call. I was on tour. Got a call. Hughes Brothers doing a movie called Menace to Society.
Hey.
I was already like, these motherfuckers ain't finna fuck with me. Because niggas didn't fuck with me. You get me?
Yeah.
Right.
I felt like my presence in Compton's Most Wanted, and, you know, niggas are still wearing Pendletons and khakis and shit, and them niggas ain't finna fuck with me.
Right.
And then when they say they got Ren reading the same part, I'm like, that shit is automatic. Man. What the fuck are they wasting my time for, man? But for some reason, they liked the way a nigga could read, you know, and they called me back, and then they called me back again, and then next thing you know, they was like, hey, we need you to come in because we gonna hire you for the part, and the rest is history.
Stay on blue. I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair on like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to Lil'